Okay, so I want to do a little video on just Ianna, like what was going on in my world, and how that is a factor. That's a thing. It was Easter yesterday. Today's would have been my mother's 78th birthday, something like that. Well, she was actually born on the 8th, and her birth certificate said the 18th. I'd always forget her birthday too. Almost always. It's like I'd be, between the 8th and the 19th, I would get it. Usually a day late. It's very sad. It's disgusting that I would do that. And I remember this year, but even last year, I think I forgot to the day after, and it's just something that's just like it's so sad that I would do that. But yeah, so like Ianna. So this is even the constant, the Ziv or the Ziz. This is the primordial phoenix, the primordial beast of the earth. It's like a cosmic being, like the Leviathan and the Behemoth. But these are kind of like constants, but from the perspective of a created world, where we're in a created realm, and those are primordial constants that are reflective of that realm's dynamics. But the Ziv, the cosmic bird, the Ziz, I think it's Ziz, Z-I-Z. Is it Ziz or Ziv? I think it's Ziz. It's a lesser known entity or concept. So there's the three primordial, spirits. That the Ziv is kind of like outside of all, an overseer. But it's kind of like Ishtarte. It's Inanna. It's like this similar concept. So here was an issue. I was at my mother's house, and I had to go to court in the morning, and I had just been to the court, and I was going to all the courts. So it was criminal court, family court, traffic court, and civil court, landlord's court, tenant court, and they were all corrupt. Every one of just to put an example of like the traffic court is, they're just going to write you tickets. You don't have to even commit a crime. You're stopped at the stop sign. The cop says you didn't stop at the stop sign. That's a $500 ticket. Or you want some points. You're going to pay $250 ticket with some points, or $550 no points. There's no discussion. It doesn't matter that you stopped. So the police is lying. He says you didn't stop. They were pulling over people one after the next, doing that. And I'm like, look, I just stopped. I go through this all the time. I go through these roads all the time. I see the police here all the time. And I'm stopping at the stop sign all the time. And don't tell me I didn't stop at it. You can't even, from where they're standing, they can't even see my car. So I'm like, how are you going to try to ticket me? I went to court for that. How do you try to ticket me where my car is in this picture and you behind the line parked where I stopped, okay? And you can't see from where the cops are. There's a wall and there's a hill. So from around the corner, where the two police were parked, you can't see my car. And you're trying to tell me you saw me not stop at the stop sign. You're not even able to see me. Oh, we go there all the time. What are you telling? And then you're doing this all the time. You're haranguing people. But that's not all they do. They, an instance, I parked next to a handicap zone, not in the handicap zone, but they towed you and ticketed me. I towed and ticketed. That's $700. And that's something they just do all the time. And it's the same thing. They're like sifting for gnats. And example is like the path in New York. This is just the mafia running that. It's just concessions for the mob. The over here it says backtrack, brawl soon. And this is painted here. And it's interesting because I had pulled out a little root from here. There's a little root in there, and I was gonna plant a tree or something. I planted a plant in here, and you can see some animal poops, and it's like maybe it's a fae dwelling, and I disturbed the fae dwelling, and the fae reacted. I see something growing in mushrooms or something. I don't know what's in there, but and then this was last Wednesday. This was put there maybe Thursday, right? And there's a lot of little fairy forts all around. The little little rock structures, and it's also gaslighting. It runs in the same. See, the gaslighting and the it's just all the same. It's just the spirit, and again, of Ianna and the demons. She's the queen of demons. So I was getting ready to go to court, and the evening before, and I hear whoo whoo out the window. We're on the 3rd floor. It was coming out the window, from the deck, but not on the ground, somewhere up in the air. And who is making that noise? And it wasn't like an owl. It was like a person going whoo whoo. And then the next day at the bathroom, at the courthouse, in the bathroom, someone scribbled on the wall who with a little owl painted. Okay, and the word who and a word bubble coming out of this little owl. That it wasn't there the day before. It was just there like that day. So that that sound came from somewhere. I had a few other stories with that. Like once a very long time ago, I had stories. I was like really upset over things going on, and I was like, oh, I hate myself because I messed up, and I was like, having some troubles in life. And she said, I might have said everyone hates me, something like that. I might have said I hate myself. So I don't remember. It was a long, long time ago. And then someone's voice went, I like you. And I'm like, I don't know who it was. It could have been the house next door. But I did like a test, and you couldn't really hear so clearly, and it could have been someone in between. But there's like all bushes that nobody walks through there. You can't walk through there. It's just impassable. So I was dismissive and saying it must have been someone in the house over as the sound traveled, but really was questionable. But then, so this other one, who that was just maybe 7 years ago or something. And another one was when I was going in looking for somebody, and I heard her voice say, Red Apple Orchard Road, and I was like, what? That's just that's with factual, there's data there, because I got information, and the guy who gave me a lift, I gave him that information, whoever picked me up in a pickup truck, saying where do you need to go, and I told him where to go, and he dropped me off, and at the house that I went to, that's information, because I was like, hey, is so-and-so live here? I was like, no, they don't live here, but we just sold them a house, they live here. And that's how I got that message. So there's like tangible evidence of that. That's a strange, occurrence. But those are three, similar things. But then you go like, it's in Ianna. And here's another example. I was walking over this bridge, and on the side is like all it's a waste area, and it's overgrown, and there's it's a ravine. It's a deep ravine, and there's a big oak tree. And I saw like a oval displacement of light up in the tree top. It was like a circle, and it looked like a mirror that was just a little bit offset, so you could see that there was something. It was not the exact skyline, tree line. It was an oval that's just displaced a little bit. And I'm like, that's weird. And I went back to investigate it, and I saw all around the base of the tree, evenly radial around a circle around the tree, was little scraps of garbage. And it's just like just random little garbage scraps, whatever, cigarette box, paper, whatever, all these little pieces of plastic. But it was so uniformly dispersed. Something's dispersing it from that tree. So that was just an odd thing. And like Ianna, the queen of demons. And then so we're in this like information. If you think about nanotech information and synthetic realms, you can see what the naga look like, the Medusa, and this is Ishtar, Athena, and you can start to see like some of these sedimentary parallels. An example was I was in another place, and there's a guy, and he was, I would consider, like a buka. And a buka is really just like an NPC that's occupied. It's a satanic being. So we have a whole bunch of satanic beings. And you think about like the political left, or the religious left, the Catholics or religious left, where truth is not an object, it's malleable, self is the only truth. that's the whole occult, and it becomes like, the glory of God is to lie. This is now the God of the world. That's their God, and they believe in God. They say, hey, do you believe in God? I believe in God, and Satan is their God. And they'll tell you they're Christian. They'll tell you that they're this, that, and the other, Jehovah's Witness, and this, that, and the other. But they're not. They're satanic. And to be Yahweh's witness that's the Elohim created this synthetic world, but this is the primordial constant of truth. This is the truth of the Trinity. This is the absolute, the conceptual truths. And in the world, the people become biomechanical servants of Satan. That's the people of no integrity. That's the people of the occult, the people of the left. And they're all the same. They're censoring the internet and they embellish your words because they don't want to be revealed for what they are. It's a bunch of charlatans and thieves, liars. They're Satans. They're Satans. And but true as true is, we do have these Elohim entities, and we have this Ianna interface, or the naga interface. But this guy was a buka that I had run across, and he's a Catholic Democrat and completely of no integrity. He's just in his satanic kingdoms. He's like the Fae is the same way. They're the same as this guy. All the Fae is like that way. And there are people all over the place, and they're all the political left. That's the Roman Catholics. Ianna. This is, Catholic Church is Ianna. Easter is Ianna. And they're very self-serving and deceitful. They're just, scoundrels. Like, I had my friends, he said he became a creature of the night. He's become a vampire. And he's of Ianna. This is the same Fae, the night watch. This is what it is. And we have so this was a guy, and then his material components would transform into a woman. He would be a woman. I'd hear him, and he'd walk around, and you could hear him moving. He's got a cart that rolls around, and it's no longer the guy. It's this woman now. So when did they switch? When did his cart switch? I'm keeping track of him because I can hear him, and now I can no longer see him. Still hear him, but now he's no longer. It's not him. It's her, and it's this like witch of a woman. She's like this gypsy, tall, scary lady, strange character, and other strangeness surrounds. And so there's, that's the Ianna's the mother of demons, and the Catholic Church is the house of demons. It's just that's really what goes on. So I was thinking about that, like the courts were so corrupted, and how much oppression and I'm being robbed. I'm being my food. This is a long time ago. I had told a friend, that I saw a vision. Me and my mother were trying to escape Patterson, and then I saw him years later. I said, no, it never happened. It was averted, because I said this is like the end times, and the people were trying to flee the city, and it was like calamity, and it was like that. And I described it like a little ice. There's snow, and we're going by this bridge. So, and then years later, I saw him in a show he was doing in the city, and I was like, oh yeah, that never came to pass. I think he might have wrote a song about it too. That's why he might have wrote a song about it. But then years later, it took like 12 years for it to come to pass, and it had happened. It was, we were going, I was taking my mother to the hospital, and she had these bruises that, it's cancer, she had cancer, and they tried to accuse me of, I'm beating your mother up, you're beating your mother up, that's what the bruises are for, and they're like charging me without any evidence, and it's like, no, and she has cancer, no apologies, by the way. How did she get cancer? Well, all our food was being poisoned too at the time. The arsenic was in the pepper, in the curry powder, all my alcohol, which I didn't drink anymore because it was all poisoned. So I had the freezer was full of hard liquor that was never touched because it was poisoned. And that on top of the Wi-Fi was just radiation. That was my fault because I put the Wi-Fi in there, and I shouldn't have had it because they were killing my mother with it. And they were many wounds of cuts, many wounds.